Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Horler and I'm here with Jonathan Gittos of UKTI. And we're at Finextra in UKTI's Nordic Baltic Inward Mission. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
So, from your personal experience, what are the challenges for fintechs in getting investment and getting banks to buy?
Well, I suppose the order that they should do it in, to do just that, as you ask, is get banks to buy first, or at least get expressions of intent out of them, and then go for the investment. So doing it the other way around, I think, is possible. Potentially, if you've got a much more capital-intensive product, then fine, try that. But the key thing is to get the interest out of the banks, and that can be damn hard because they're large, complex, and often quite intimidating institutions. And by banks, I'd include fund managers and everyone else. The key part there is just sheer relentless hard work in terms of getting through to the right people and networking. And I think that is challenging for investors. I think it's difficult for any of us, but particularly challenging for entrepreneurs when, quite often they're relatively young. They may not have a huge amount of experience in the area, and picking up a telephone to one of these organizations is quite hard and getting rebutted. Probably the best way of doing it, more than anything, is to try and work on introductions. So probably 2 or 3 times a day as an extra entrepreneur or angel, I will introduce someone to someone. And it usually is one of the best ways past the filter is if you can't get directly to the head of whatever it is, systemic trading at Deutsche Bank, then find someone that might know them, him or her, and then get that introduction to them, sort of thing. And once you've started that sales relationship and that's been validated and you can prove that the product has got the interest, then move on to raising the investment and really go through the same set of techniques as we talked about with the banks in that sense.
What specific advice would you give to startups looking to grow through investment?
Yes, really concentrate on sales, I think, more than anything. Certainly here in the UK, the environment now in terms of raising seed investment is so good and there's so much cash around. Yes, it's still hard work and it will take at least 3 months, probably more like 6 months of hard work, but it will happen. It's a great mistake to see that raising that investment as a form of success. It isn't. It's just a means of keeping alive for longer. The key thing is concentrate on sales. Get out there, pound the streets, network, go to meetup events, get to those key decision makers, and then also understand, and I think this is a lesson I failed at completely in my first startup, which was a company called MarketPipe, where I thought that if I spoke to the key decision maker and got their buy-in, that was it done. And in actual fact, when you're dealing with large organizations, it's important to realize that there's the decision maker, there's the purchasing department, there's the legal department, there's the sign-off from a budget committee. There's a whole series of different decisions that you have to orchestrate and influence in that way.
And how is the UK fostering investment through fintech?
Well, I think it's really piggybacking on 2 things. Firstly, plainly the financial services sector here in the UK is hugely successful and powerful, and a lot of clearly the fintech world sort of feeds off that, so that's one side of it. And then the tax and legal structure that's been created here is particularly favourable as well. So most of the people watching this will know about things called SEIS, the Cedar Enterprise Investment Scheme, the Enterprise Investment Scheme, which for those that don't know, essentially gives roughly a 50% tax discount and then tax-free gains to investors and dramatically reduces their risk. Also, there's an organisation called Innovate UK, which provides many grants to entrepreneurs doing new and interesting technologies, and they run a 3-month competition schedule for that. So on the investment side, I think it's probably better, certainly for fintech, than almost anywhere in the world. And I think last year the UK raised just under £500 million of fintech investment for fintech firms. The second side of it, though, I think is then that you've got the clients within easy reach. So where you and I are sitting today in the Mansion House, literally within a mile or 2 of here, you have almost every major financial services firm in the world. And the ease of reaching those and having those conversations is that bit greater. The third part, which I think we often take for granted, is the regulatory regime we have here, which is thanks to both the regulators themselves and the good orders of the government, that the regulators are much more relaxed here about allowing and even promoting innovative business models. And it's striking, for instance, if you talk to a French or an Italian entrepreneur trying to do things in fintech, is the challenges that they have getting regulatory approval. And okay, here it isn't easy, but it's an order of magnitude easier than it is elsewhere, and I think that's easy to forget. So.
Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome to talk.
And thank you for watching.